What's up, everybody? We're back again with the main man, PJ Dubs, Pete Witt. What's up, my brother?
Hey, man. How are you?
What's going on, man? They're chilling, man. It's cool. It's a good overcast day in Alabama, my brother.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So, man, lots been happening. We got 2 series out since the last video, so I'm glad to catch up with you on it. You know,
I'm glad to be here, man. It's starting to get good.
Yep. Some very ill stuff in there, man. I'm enjoying it. So where are we at with everything?
Well, the first series, I was showing off, man. We're a long way from there right now, but it's if you look at it from a perspective of a good analogy, is think of it as lots of years of college and a master's degree.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the second series, that's more like preschool. That series was kind of boring to me, just on the fact of having to start from such like scratch, basic, and try to teach people to open their eyes up and to look at the zodiac in a different way from the ones who even know it and how we see it and how it's in books. So it was just there to open it up. But then. And now we're in the third series, and the third series I'm going to break into chapters. And the reason for this is I'm starting to use a bunch of famous numbers in the mathematical world. I'm going to use some relevant things like the clock and our calendar. And what I'm going to do from there is apply them to the zodiac and show you what they really can do.
Gotcha. I love it, man. I love it. So what's sitting in front of you here then? That pretty much that whole, like, what numbers are we dealing with? Like, if we can get, kind of what direction we going?
Well, I have this cube here. It's not an actual cube. It's not mathematically perfect.
Right.
But it is nice, and I wanted to use this kind of as a visual representation because the mathematical cube that I use from this book. I've been studying and researching it for years, and from my personal opinion, this cube uses all these famous numbers. They all come from it. So, like for instance, here we have phi, or the golden ratio, that comes out of the cube. We got the calendar. However many months or years you want to do, we can put it into the cube. We have the numbers 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, which are a cyclic number. They're involved with time. That's in the cube too. These all work together. We got pi. People are familiar with that. And right now in the mathematical world, there are some awards for helping them figure out more about pi because it's really something that they haven't figured out completely. Then we got the old speed of light. That's a famous number. Even used as a decimal. And then next we got a Mayan calendar. This is a pyramid building civilization, and they carved a lot of their stuff in stone. Yep, they were using this cube also. The cubit from the Egyptians, they were also using this cube, just in a different way. Then last but not least, this project skims across numerology and number theory. I don't really try to touch on them a lot because it's such an open subject. But it definitely crosses that, and you'll see like a lot of things start to repeat,
right?
Or the same numbers, and these are numbers that we're not familiar with in math books. So
right, and that repetition is important. I mean, because just looking at a couple of things in there, I mean, you run into pi in several ways, with the pyramids, And for those that don't know, like, magic squares, Ben Franklin was a magic square guy. And what's cool about magic squares is, it's a grid matrix, right? So it may be, 3 by 3 all the way up to, much larger numbers, 8 by 8, whatever. And they when you add them in any direction, up, down, diagonal, it all adds up to the same number, right? So it's very difficult to do. And so the cube is basically a 3D version of that similar principle there.
Correct.
Yeah. Very nice, man. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to that, man, for us, because that's really dope. So man, I'm sure the journey's been crazy since last time. Like, give us a part of the story. Tell me something. Give me something.
I'll give you, you know, I guess a good part of the story is the first like 3 months. And I guess from that, just to explain that, is in the first 3 months of this project, I found all the books that I needed to use up until this day. Like,
Wow.
I haven't really had to find anything since then. I used an astrology book to learn like just the mechanics of how to, you know, put that, you know, something from space and time and put that onto a piece of paper. And then I studied the Mayan 260-day calendar. They have a couple calendars. I studied that one. That one caught my eye just straight out the gate. And I put those two together and started using them and studying. And it, you know, I'm still here today. I didn't use any, you know, sacred geometry books or numerology books. Just from my perspective and what I've learned, the zodiac is set up completely backwards from how everything that we've been taught in our life. Therefore, you know, once I looked at sacred geometry and numerology books, they were doing the same thing. Really not that helpful for trying to figure out the overall, you know, for me, I needed something to be completed or finalized, not some, this is great and these numbers are this, like when you really don't know anything about them already. So, you know, because this is coming from a time when, you know, sacred geometry was before calculators and all that and computers. And now that we're here, I think you guys have been kind of led out in the left field when you should be just staying on the path.
Right. Kind of sticking to what's been working and kind of where it all came from. Yeah.
Right.
Now that makes total sense, man. So I mean, you know, you've gathered all this information, like, you know, and just looking at this again, like all of these topics, the 14287 and the Mayan calendar and all of those things, man, they are, you know, these are big points in history, like you're saying, that this has been, you know, this engine's been used for a while. So why haven't you dropped a thesis or something on this yet?
Well, that's really easy. I see the zodiac in a way that apparently other people don't. And I was self-taught by myself, and I didn't learn it that way. Like, the way that it made sense to me was how it laid it out. Like, I'm better with patterns and symbols. You know, so on the thesis part, you know, like, I've already ran into the math people. I've talked with math professors, and it's really funny because, you know, talking to them, it's great, and they're all excited at first, you know, but then when I ask them to sit down, you know, you can see the body language change, and it's kind of like they probably are mumbling under their breath, like, how did I get roped into this? Like, oh my gosh, like, I hope this doesn't take forever. But, you know, once I get going, it's over. Like, I'm using space and time, and my calculations and what I show them comes out so precise that that's the problem that they have. You know, because they may not understand all the mechanics of the zodiac and space and, you know, that whole scenario of that mathematical side. But, you know, the math always works. It shocks them. And, you know, from there, I was like, okay, I'm learning. I see where you guys are at. And then institutions have curriculums.
Right. They're stuck in this one route to work. So they're not, you know, anytime there's a detour, they're not wanting to take back roads. They're stuck in this one method, and it's kind of hard to see. It's easy to see that there's something there, but hard to kind of take their mind out of the traditional way of achieving those things. I bet that's challenging. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, from my experiences, you know, all I needed was the validation that the math worked and to shock them, because I was like, yeah, I know you're not going to understand this other part of it.
Yeah.
But that's what really helped.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then from there, you know, it was easy just to, depending on who I'm talking to, like, I can explain the zodiac in this way to you, and I can explain it in this way to you necessarily. Just, you know, it just depends on who I'm talking to at this point. Really.
Yeah. And I know you've been running in circles with numerologists, mathematicians, you know, chemical engineers. So, you know, that's really cool. You know, kind of hearing as time has gone on and we chat back and forth just about how things are going. You know, to hear, you know, in all of those circles, kind of how it grabs them and the different components of it that grab them, you know.
Right.
So for us out there that's learning from you and watching with you and you know taking this all in, super exciting. What from your perspective, what should we be taking away from this, you know?
Well, I believe that I'm bringing back a lost knowledge. The Zodiac was a working machine a long, long ago, and somehow we've lost the ability to use it or utilize it in just all the ways that it can be functionable.
Right.
The Antikythera is a perfect example of a mechanized machine that they track the stars and the moon and, you know, all the cycles. So right there just could kind of, you know, give you some insight. And then also there's a bunch of mathematical paradoxes right now that deal with circles and spheres. And, you know, from my 18 years of doing this project, I can honestly say that the current math that we use today is a byproduct of the Zodiac, because I count it in a different way. I just pull out base 10 from it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
I'm
right.
pulling out all these things from it, and I'm just using that to make it so you guys can be like, oh wow, that is something I know or I can relate to. And then, you know, in closing on that is just take a look around at the world and where we're at right now. I believe that this is the time for this knowledge to come back, and for us to grab onto it and build and innovate and create from it. Now that we have kind of this other side of our life where we've, you know, industrialized and come up, but we've lost something. So I'm hopefully going to bring these back and put them together.
Right. Good deal, man. I love it, my brother. So future videos, man. You got any particular things you want to do on some of the future videos? Like, you know, do you got to?
I do. I guess the main thing that I would really like to do is say maybe around the end of December, start of the 2023. After I start getting in deeper into chapter 3 or series 3 with all the chapters, I would like to do some live feeds and be able to take people's questions, answer some things and apply it, you know, because there's some things I haven't even looked at to where I might be able to take it and apply it, and then boom, from there, create something or make something out of it, and, you know, be able to show you something that might validate that.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's about to get really cool, man.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it, man. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Man, well, we look forward to it, man. Series 3 and the rest coming in the future, man. Appreciate you coming and chilling with me and talking with me, man. I've been following the whole way. I love it, my brother.
Cool, thanks. Well, and I'll just tell you right now, my second golden ratio video is the one that's going to drop your jaw and should really get this conversation really started. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Word up, man. Well, y'all heard it here, man. Be looking out. The Series 3 is coming. Finished up Series 2. We're chilling here with Big Plop, PJ Dubs, you know what I'm saying? Universal Plop, man. So stay tuned, man. We got more coming.
Send me your questions.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to answer them. Cool.
Subscribe.
And subscribe. Tell all your friends, because this is kind of a big deal.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
All right, my brother.
Awesome.
See ya.